Hey guys, it's Matt McNeil again. I was able to pull my first Lost Boys Michael out of the mold, which is awesome. He came out great, specifically for a first pull. Oh my gosh, it's super clean. I mean, there's maybe just some trimming and a little spot here or there. I definitely need to clean up a little bit around the eyelids, but it's just going to be a little bit, and that's what I wanted to just sort of check back in, because a lot of people were interested in what those crazy blanks were with the screws sticking out, because again, this is my first time doing it with those as well, and I had my fingers crossed that it was going to work, and lo and behold, it did. So if you take, like again, there's some little bubbly stuff here. First pull, you can't complain. All of that's very fixable. But if you look in there, you can see the negative of the eye blank that I used, and that was the purpose of using them. And what we're talking about here is having your mask or your display or your character look in a specific direction. But in addition to that, the thing that's so nice about these eye blanks is it gives me an eyelid depth that is acceptable with a pair of aftermarket eyes, as opposed to having to come in here and Dremel them out and do patches and repairs and figure out how to make eyelids look acceptable. These come out really clean straight from the mold, save for just a little bit of bubble patching or something like that. And for a first pull, you got to admit this is pretty doggone clean. But for those of you who don't quite know what we're talking about, what we're talking about is these guys. And these are eye blanks, and they have a screw in them, a studded screw. And what you do, this is unfortunately, this is how Michael came out of the mold. Unfortunately, he did not survive the process, but as a demonstration, I'll show you how this actually all goes together. So what this allows you to do is, this screw here, this rod, is centered where the iris of the eye is. So you've got two of these bad boys. You stick them in here, one on each side, and you can aim the gaze of your character. You want them to look up, you want them to look down, to the left, to the right, straight, center, however you want to do it. You get a very good representation of where your character is going to be looking, which is great, because those of you who have ever had to stick eyeballs in a sculpt, it's a real pain in the butt after the fact, particularly if it's a foam bust or anything like that. This alleviates all of those issues. So what happens is, when you make your mold, you cast your mold with these rods in place. And what that does is that leaves them in your mold, so that when you pour the latex, your eyelids are filled in around the perfect representation of the acrylic eyes or the resin eyes that you're going to put in after the fact. So these eyes happen to be 26 millimeters. These are Ed eyes. These are 26 millimeters, which are a perfect fit for also this guy, even though these aren't Lost Boy eyes, which I do actually have on order at the moment. But these eyes will fit perfectly in the sockets in the correct direction that I sculpted them in, which is awesome. So just to recap, for those of you who have never quite understood what these rods are for, I myself didn't until maybe 3 or 4 months ago. You sculpt with these guys in place. You position the eyes so that they're looking wherever you want. You make your mold with these intact. You leave them inside the mold. You can see them sitting in there right now, so that when you pour your blank, the latex surrounds the eye. It creates a pocket that allows you to then, upon finishing your mask, pop these guys in and have them looking in the correct direction with a really appropriate eyelid depth. And again, like I say, I've got a little finishing work to do here, but that's nothing compared to all of the work that it takes to Dremel and to sand and to naphtha and all of that stuff in order to get an appropriate and acceptable eyelid depth for your custom eyes. So anyway, hopefully that is a more concise explanation than what I went through last night. And hopefully you guys find that interesting, because again, this is something that I'd never done before. This is the first time I've done it, and it was a complete success. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are having fun on this Sunday.